All right, so I got to admit, a bit of a weird feeling tonight. I don't know how to feel right now because OU loses the game 9-4, but they're SEC champs. They are outright SEC champs. So how do you feel? How do you take it on this Friday night when they didn't play their best softball? There were some things certainly in the circle that, weren't to the level that you wanted, but this team won the SEC, and that's an incredible accomplishment. They locked up the SEC regular season crown outright before the game on Friday. So essentially, they clinched the SEC with 2 games remaining, which is an unbelievable feat with so many young players and so many transfer portal players after that legendary class graduated last year. So I think I've got to acknowledge that. And I think I've got to acknowledge that a lot for how incredible of an accomplishment this is. So this is what this video is going to be tonight. First, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. How are you guys feeling? How'd you take today? Today was a lot. Drop your thoughts in the comments. But I am going to start with the positive today because I think that what we're, eventually overall going to remember from this day is the fact that in OU's first year in the SEC, they won the league. So we're going to start with the positives and then work our way to, the things that weren't so great during the actual softball game. So let's start with the positives. SEC champs came into your league, won your league. Did it with 2 games left in the regular season. It's an incredible accomplishment. And we're probably a little bit spoiled when it comes to OU softball success. 4 consecutive national championships will do that to you. Having the greatest coach of all time in college softball history will probably do that to you as well. But I would urge you, take a moment. If you're an OU softball fan out there, most of you are. James is a Florida State fan out there, but he's still always in the comments. Love that guy. But take a moment to appreciate this because this is a big deal. And you're used to winning the conference. That's nothing new. But why I would kind of urge you to really appreciate what happened this year with this team is, well, mostly the things that you already know. Because you graduated a legendary class and you won a new conference. Like, it's fun to walk into a new league and say, hey, you guys were talking all this mess. Oklahoma's going to have to reload, do this, do that. No. Oklahoma doesn't rebuild. Oklahoma just reloads. Like all the rebuild talk. No. Oklahoma came into a new league in the SEC and won it in year 1. And frankly, I think that you can make an argument that the SEC may be the single best conference, like this year's SEC, maybe the best conference that's ever existed in college softball when you look at the overall depth and the overall talent of this league from top to bottom. OU's really good. Texas A&M's really good. Tennessee and Texas are fantastic. Florida is a really good softball team. I mean, there's so many good teams in this conference, and you found a way to win this league in year 1. So I just want to acknowledge that. I don't want to let tonight go by and not at least acknowledge and celebrate the fact that this team just did something very special that I don't think it's going to be the last time it happens. Far from it. This won't be the last time OU wins the SEC, but it's still really, really cool. So, props to this program for doing that. Other goods. Ella Parker. I mean, she is just on an incredible tear right now. Incredible tear. She was hitting north of 500 in her last 3 games going into today. She had back-to-back-to-back games with the home run. Well, let's add to that now. Back-to-back-to-back-to-back. We say that a lot around here right now. But Ella Parker is now homered in 4 straight games, and she was the best player on the field for OU today. 3 for 4 at the plate. She had 3 RBIs. Of course, she had the home run. And the home run in the middle stages of that game that really got you back into it in a moment where you said, like, okay, let's go. We got a chance. We're right back in this game. Let's go win this thing. That obviously didn't happen, but Ella Parker just fantastic. And you lose the game today, so the positives that you take out of today are the fact that you won the SEC championship before you even took the field today. That's the positives. I think when you look at this game, though, if you're looking for some real positives to take away from, it's got to be Ella Parker, not just from today, but from the previous 4 games that she's played, which she's probably hitting north of 600 now over the course of her past 4 games. She's on an absolute tear, and she's back. That's the Ella Parker that we saw earlier in the year, and that's the Ella Parker we've seen throughout her young career when she's at her best. And it wasn't enough today. Like, she went 3 for 4 with 3 RBIs. It still wasn't enough today to beat Florida, but is that going to be enough tomorrow? If she puts up or does something similar, maybe. Is that going to be enough in the SEC tournament? Maybe. Really, the point is that when Ella Parker is on her game, and she's been on her game now for 4 consecutive SEC games, it takes this OU offense to another level. And so you've won the SEC. Check. I'd like to win the SEC tournament. I'd like to make it back to Oklahoma City. I'd like to go back to back to back to back to back 5 consecutive national championships. Well, how is that going to happen? Well, there's certainly a lot of factors involved to that, but your best players have to play their best softball. And I think Ella Parker is your most talented hitter. Her or Cassidy Pickering, for sure. Right now, Ella Parker is playing her best softball and absolutely demolishing the ball at the plate right now. So that's the real positive that you take away. Offensively, it's been really good here recently. Tonight, I mean, it was just fine. You scored the 4 runs. Majority of that production comes from Ella Parker. I did like that the offense drew 8 walks tonight. That continues to be a nice sign moving forward. But I would expect this offense and hope that this offense would kind of regain back to form what it's been over the course of the past couple of weeks. But SEC championship, let's go. Ella Parker being back, fantastic. You did have some good at-bats tonight. It's just, hey, Florida played really good softball tonight. Florida responded. They played well. And, you had the 1-0 lead earlier in the game, but, boy, that grand slam really felt like a backbreaker there in the bottom of the second inning. Okay, so there's the positive. For those of you that want the negatives, or at least the game analysis, here it is. You took the 1-0 lead in the first inning, and what you had, I think you had runners, you had second and third with nobody out. Gabby Garcia gets you the lone RBI that inning. Again, that's a situation where you got second and third with nobody out because Ella Parker just hit one in the gap. You'd like to get more than just the one. You felt good about taking the lead at the time, but you like to get more than just the one. But you're up 1-0 heading into the bottom of the first inning. Really, kind of the main story in terms of the game was how was Kierston Deal? What was she going to do with the best start of her career, the start after the best start of her career? And I don't think it was what any of us hoped it would be tonight. I think that's very fair to say. I don't know what my expectations were necessarily for Kierston Deal. I was hoping that she would give you 5 innings, 6 innings against what we have to remember is a very good Florida offense. That is a very good Florida offense with a lot of really good hitters, a lot of speed, a lot of power. But I was hoping that she'd give you more than an inning and 2/3. And that's all you got from her tonight. She gave up the 3 hits. 5 runs allowed. All of those were earned. 4 walks, 1 strikeout. It's just, it almost seems like there's really good Kierston Deal and not so good Kierston Deal. And really good Kierston Deal attacks the zone, pitches to contact, and lets her defense go to work. Not so good Kierston Deal gets behind in counts and maybe struggles locating. And this was a night, once again, where the umpiring wasn't necessarily great, not a ringing endorsement of some of the calls behind the plate. But the 4 walks in an inning and 2/3, that's just not the best of what Kierston Deal has to offer. And look, it's disappointing to have to say that about her start. I was hoping, you were hoping, we were all hoping that she's your number 2 pitcher now and that she really runs with it. Because that's still the biggest question mark of this team as we're 1 game away from heading into the SEC tournament. Who's your number 2 starter? Sam Landry's elite. This offense is really good. This team does a lot of great things, but they're going to need a pitcher other than Sam Landry to win the national championship. Who's that going to be? Well, this was a big start for Kierston Deal to say, hey, it's me. It's me. I maybe haven't been as consistent as I need to be throughout my career, but watch this. After a great start against Texas, I'm going to do it again against Florida. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. An inning and 2/3, 5 earned runs. Isabella Smith, not great, 2 2/3. She gave up 5 hits. She gave up 4 earned runs in the game. Just the 1 walk, but, she had a really, really tough inning after Ella Parker's home run pulled it within 1 inning. I guess along with the SEC championship, Ella Parker back, but she's definitely back. I don't think that there's any question to that. If you're looking for another positive today, you can at least throw Audrey Lowry in the mix. In a game where you lost 9-4 and Florida had a couple of big innings, Audrey Lowry, like her previous 2 outings, she only recorded 1 combined out. Well, an inning and 2/3, 3 hits allowed, yes, but she didn't give up an earned run. She didn't give up any runs whatsoever. She had no walks and 1 strikeout. I'll take that. That's a good relief outing from Audrey Lowry, and it's certainly a lot better than what we saw previously. So I like that maybe she gets some confidence back, gets some time in the circle to maybe get right before the SEC tournament arrives. Like, I like to see that. But here we are back with the same question: who is your number 2 starter? And maybe just because Kierston Deal had a rough start, maybe nothing changes. Maybe she is going to get a start in the SEC tournament, or she's going to be viewed as the second option in the circle when postseason play begins. But I would have really liked to have shore that up, or at least feel a lot better about things. And Friday was certainly a setback to that. But hopefully Audrey Lowry can use that outing and really take off. Hopefully that's the case. But yeah, just not a great night. You had the lead early, but again, Florida really takes control of this game. The grand slam, really felt like the big moment in the second inning. They scored 4 runs in the second, and they had 3 home runs in the 5th inning. I mean, the second inning and the 5th inning really did you in tonight. Outside of that, I mean, you were pretty good, but 2 innings, the 2nd and the 5th inning, again, really did you in tonight. Florida did a lot of damage and hit 4 home runs on the night. 4 home runs on the night, which you don't love to see. But an SEC championship, right? An SEC, just when you're feeling down about tonight's game, just remember, they won an SEC championship, and they're not talking about it. They're not celebrating it per Patty Gasso. They're going to wait until the series is over, but they already know that they're SEC champs. But I think tomorrow's a big game. Saturday is a big game. It's not going to determine the conference. It's not going to determine conference seeding. It's not going to determine if OU hosts a home regional and a super regional. But let's not go into the SEC tournament with back-to-back losses. Like, let's respond a lot better, and let's go out and win a softball game. And the fact that you don't play until Thursday, my guess is that we're going to see Sam Landry in the circle tomorrow. And I didn't think that that was going to be the case going into the weekend. In fact, in the comments with a lot of you, I think a few of us agreed that you go Landry in Game 1, you go Kierston Deal in Game 2, and if you've already locked up the SEC by Game 3, then you throw out Isabella Smith and see what she has. Well, just kind of judging by today's game, my thoughts and feelings on that have changed. And I would guess that we see Sam Landry at some point tomorrow, maybe as a starter, maybe as a reliever. But the fact that you don't play until Thursday next week, I think that we're going to see your ace pitcher in the circle. And I'm going to guess that it's going to be in a starting role. And maybe you even see Audrey Lowry back tomorrow as well. But I want to see this team respond. I want to see this team fight back. I don't want to see a team that's just, it's over, it's fine, we won the SEC, we're all good. No. I want to see a team come back and really wants to win a series on the road, really wants to come out and compete. And not being competitive, I don't think that that was an issue today. I thought really your issues were in the circle, unfortunately. But I would expect this team to come out, play hard tomorrow, and really play to win. But I'm hoping that that's what we see. A lot more competitive game tomorrow than what we saw in the latter innings today. But should be a fun game. Should be a fun afternoon in Gainesville, Florida as we close up the regular season, which is crazy to say. Just feels like yesterday we're talking about the opening series out there in California, which you guys have been there throughout the offseason, the regular season, non-conference play, SEC play, whatever. I know you're going to be there for the postseason. Thank you so much. Sorry about video being a little bit late tonight. Friday night plans. Come on. I'm a man in demand. Had some Friday night plans to get to. But we'll get that video out tomorrow. Win, lose, draw, whatever happens. Appreciate you guys as always. You flood the comment section. You like the video. You subscribe to the channel. Genuinely, thank you. And this is the stretch run of the season. And I can't pick a better crew to do it with than you guys. So let's do something special. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's close up the regular season tomorrow. As always, thank you for watching.